So there I was burning wood scraps in that chimenea. That's that device that you see in the thumbnail. It's basically just kind of this heavy metal kind of thing. You put fire in it and then it's got a chimney. Hence they call it a chimenea. I'm like thinking, when I put my hand over the chimney, it's like, oh, Captain Obvious. Boy, there's a lot of heat coming out of that thing. And it's separated from the fire. Heat and fire. So what can I do? And it's like, why don't I heat shape a bow on it? So I stuck this little cherry stave, pretty much a tillered bow on it. I might have to reduce the weight or any something like that on it. Get it super hot and then use my tip wrench, which allows me to also, see that? Put a twist in it to straighten things up because this bow was just all sorts of twisted. Get super hot, put it in my arrow wrench there and did all right. And I'm not talking extreme bends that I wanted to put in. I wanted to put in, kind of accurate bends. You look at the bows and the bows, arrows, and Encyclopedia of Bows, Arrows, and Quivers of the Native Americans, Volume 2, the Western, and what you're seeing, and keep in mind, right through the handle, it was Genki. There's no way to make a smooth handle section there, but that's life. They're all subtle curves. And what I noticed too is where I tend to put most of the curve in the going in this area, a lot of the actual bows were curved in the center and out towards the ends. And I know what you're saying. Well, when you get the curve out here, you've got more of a chance of stacking, but on the plus side, it kind of acts like that little wrap of sinew on your arrow shafts that let you know that's where you stop drawing. So maybe. Yeah, it worked out pretty well. And the handle's a little thicker, so I just stuck it on the chimney, and it's in no danger of, the fire, but there's a lot of heat there. And cherry, it's a good wood. You might say, I should have started out with a perfectly straight stave. Most of you understand that you work with what you have, and character adds to the bow. But you know what? Getting a nice piece of cherry is kind of rare. Now let's talk about cherry. I had a fellow ask me in the comment section, is cherry compression strong or tension strong? Well, there's a caveat, which means there's kind of a little explanation beyond the explanation. Let's just stick this here. There we go. Is that, in my estimation, the majesty which is cherry, is its springiness related to compression. Wonderful wood, like ERC, Eastern Red Cedar, when it's sinew-backed. Yeah, you can make self bows out of them, but the beauty is the sinew-back, because I might be making this up. It might be all cognitive decline. It's not. My cognitive isn't declining too much. I just choose not to remember stupid stuff that takes up space. Is that there's a couple kind of compressions. Think of this. You've got your black locust and your Osage orange and your mulberries and hard maple and stuff like that. Compression, squishing, right? I am strong, I shall not compress. And then you would get, and I'm including cherry in this group of two. You've got you, and you've got cherry. Think of this. They're not the hardest woods in the world, but they appear, in my estimation, they have this weird thing where in compression, and then they can spring back. It's not like, you hit a brick wall, you cannot compress me anymore. It's more like the jiu-jitsu of woods and compression where, see, my cognitives aren't declining. I just came up with that. Compression and then spring back. And you can feel that in the bow. Maybe it's all imaginary, but cherry, to me, feels like when it's sinew-backed, a wonderful springy thing, and I can just feel the waves of spring and compression. Sure, you can crush them if you overdo them, but it just, cherry is a wonderful bowwood mixed with sinew backing. And that is why I believe the native tribes really prized choke cherry for their little gull wings, their little horse bows, whether or not they're gull wings or just deflex tips or whatever. Wonderful wood. Now let's get into some other happy happenstance. So Warpath Archery, G, can't pronounce his name, so I just call him G. I'm like, hey G, I took a picture of the chiminea, and I said, I'm not only burning bow scraps, but I'm using the heat from that to shape the bows. And he was like, in a lot of native communities, native cultures, they would take the shavings for making bows and, shaving scraps, you split stuff off, and burn it and use it to heat treat the bows. Because they felt that when you're heat shaping the wood, heat treating the wood, what have you, with the scraps from that bow, you're putting it back into the bow, so you're using everything. Now, obviously, you're not putting carbon and stuff into it, but the heat to shape that bow, using the scraps and the shavings from that, I get it. Maybe that's why it just felt right. Got lucky on that one too. Well, with that, getting ready to go to my day job, they did it. They took this horse and they put new shoes on it. They've been bugging me forever to get non-slip shoes. I was wearing my running shoes, like actual real running shoes. It's the same thing with power tools. You can go to Walmart and get a DeWalt, and then you go to a lumber yard and you get a DeWalt, and it's different grade. It's a professional grade. The same with running shoes. You go to Dunham's, you get Avias or something, or New Balance, and then you go to an actual running store and get kind of the same shoe. It's not. It's a better shoe. Well, they stripped me of my running shoes and put me in, they shod this old horse, and it's like, whatever. At least I'm allowed to wear shorts. That's one thing. Well, with that, I accidentally bent this thing backwards. The belly was the outside of the tree, but I kind of like that. I got to thinking, because I'll tiller a bow before I sinew back it, maybe a little adjustment afterwards. Think about this. I've also been asked this question. When you have skips in the growth rings on the belly, does that weaken the bow? And it's like, now, I've got one growth ring on the belly. The back will be supported by sinew. It's like, I wonder. Maybe this bow will be stronger, more able to handle the stress, because the belly is worked on the one growth ring. Look at all these things to think about. Well, now I am done. Now I'm done. Need to do laundry. And so I'm wearing my old Fort Sill shirt here. It'll be underneath my work shirt, and I'll know it's there. That'll keep me going on this Friday. Have a good one. Thank you for watching.